Just a quick content warning. This episode, we talk a lot about 9/11.
Hey, on a very real level, we do understand that this is a severely tragic thing that happened. On another real level, we were all maybe 3 when it did. So it's joke time.
So we're going to joke about it. If you don't like that, sorry, don't listen to this episode. Yes. So the day we're recording this is 9/11. Never forget.
What happened?
You forgot?
No, I don't think I ever learned what happened. How can I forget if I don't know? What happened?
I don't know, but Bush did something.
Cordell, do you know what happened?
Yeah, this is Guy Fawkes Day. So it's when Guy Fawkes attacked Parliament, almost blew it up, didn't, and then on this same day, 1,000 years later, they made V for Vendetta.
That's right. Remember
forget.
the 11th of September.
Exactly.
Welcome to Junk House.
It's a psychobilly freakout!
In my heart, Psychobilly Freakout was in a Tony Hawk game. I know we've proven it wasn't, but I will never get it out of my brain.
It definitively was not in a Tony Hawk game.
But in my heart and soul, on the piano, it was in a Tony Hawk game.
Which one, though?
Pro Skater 2.
Okay, that fits.
Yeah, makes sense.
Should we make that same silly joke about, oh no, I forgot, for every holiday and event that we're supposed to remember?
No, I don't think so. I think it's funnier that it's just 9/11.
What about February 23rd? Can we hit Alamo Day with another we forgot joke?
Honest to God, Cordell, I could not have told you when the Alamo Day was.
Honest to God, I Googled it for this joke.
Okay, good. Okay, good. I was about to say, I know you spent some time in Texas, so I was like, man, maybe Cordell just really fucking cares about the Alamo for some reason now that you spent, like, what, a summer in Texas? But
one of the worst summers of my adult life? No, thank you. I did not fall in love with the Alamo.
Yeah.
Well, that is when the battle started. I don't know if they have an Alamo Day that they celebrate. I just really, I didn't want to do that much research.
That's fair.
When I Googled Alamo Day, that's what came up.
What are some things that we as
Never forget?
Americans should actually never forget? Because, like, 9/11's kind of a bummer. I think we can forget that one.
Do we want to remember the happy things about America?
I think we want to remember some of the happy things and maybe some of the not as sad as 9/11 things.
We should remember the day Steve Harwell died, because that one really tore up my brother and older brothers everywhere as the lead singer of Smash Mouth passed away.
Yeah. That one, well, I was going to say Jimmy Buffett, but that is as sad as 9/11, if we're being honest about it.
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett is the 9/11 for day drinkers.
Well, Cordell. What are you saying there, bud?
Hey, you wouldn't have this strong of a reaction if I didn't hit a nerve.
Sometimes you get a case of the Mondays and you decide that it's time to live on island time for just a little bit.
It's okay, buddy. We're here for you.
Are you?
Metaphorically.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm not going to provide real assistance.
I think
I'm here.
I think something we should remember as Americans is the day that the world didn't end on January 1st, 2000. That Y2K didn't happen and the clock rolled over
Ooh.
just fine.
Yeah.
And we can also remember 2012.
I was about to bring
Oh,
that
yeah,
up.
yeah.
December 21st, 2012, whenever the world also didn't end.
Y'all
Yeah.
remember that dog shit movie 2012 that came out in 2009?
You mean the fantastic movie called 2012 that came out in 2009 starring
John Cusack.
That one guy.
yeah, John Cusack, the lesser Cusack. Yeah.
I said what I said.
No, it's not that good of a movie. I like making a big deal out of things. That movie's plot was insane. Like, do you remember this plot of that movie?
Things I remember about that movie. John Cusack is like, rich people have a secret boat that'll take us where 2012 won't get us.
Top of Kilimanjaro, right? Or some bullshit.
So here's the plot, friends. Come on, it's not that hard. John Cusack has a friend who's like, "Hey, John," because his name in the movie is John Cusack. He's like, "Hey, John, the 2012's happening. You got to get out of here." And then he takes his kids and his wife and his wife's new husband, who he hates. The 5 of them get away. And thankfully, though, the wife's new husband can fly a plane. And so they escape Los Angeles or whatever and fly away. And then they meet Woody Harrelson, who's a conspiracy nut who saw it all coming because he lives in a national park. You think it's Yellowstone. And he's like, "Hey, Yellowstone's been telling me through the volcano that 2012's going to happen. And so you got to run." And then they run and they fly away and they leave Woody Harrelson to die. I think he wanted it. He really had that pain in his eyes. They leave him to die. Then they get to where the rich people have built like 4 or 5 Noah's Arks. And they're like, "Hey, these are Noah's Arks, but instead of all the animals, we're putting all of us rich people in there. And only our poor servants can come." And then there's this Russian family who are really mean. And then the floods come. And then it just kind of ends where most everyone's dead, but John Cusack and his family have gotten there. And I think the wife's new husband died so that they can eventually bone down again.
Welcome to a new segment I'm introducing called "Oops, That's a Continuity Error," where I'm gonna talk about continuity errors in the movie that are so obvious. Even 12-year-old Caleb, when 2012, starring Joan Cusack's brother John.
There we go.
Why didn't I notice this? I was stupid. The Antonov that takes off at the Las Vegas airport is clearly an A124 model with 2 engines on either side and a normal tail. But when they're in the air, it's clearly the Antonov A225, which
Idiots.
has 3
Oh my
engines on
God, I
either
can't
side and a
believe them.
double tail, which
Those morons.
was made to carry the Russian Buran space shuttle. How could you make this mistake?
Foolishness, really. I do think we've stumbled on what might be my first segment. And that is, I badly explained the plot of bad movies that I saw as a child.
Make a song right now for it.
You know, sometimes when you're a little kid, you watch a movie and it's really bad, but you liked it because you were a kid, and then you badly explained it to your friends.
Yeah.
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 So that was my rendition of 2012. Starring John Cusack, the lesser Cusack.
Honestly, let's be really real about
I would die for Joan Cusack.
You know what I can never forget though?
when we read reviews.
When we read reviews and they're really bad, so guess the movie. Now at this point, it's just trying to make the worst, the worst transition ever.
I don't know. At one point, you did start that transition and then pivot to hentai. So that was
Yeah.
At least in terms of psychic damage, you'll never beat that one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that wasn't. Wow. That wasn't a transition for this. That was for a different game. But this is a good game that we always play, and this is a 5-star review from a name I can't pronounce because I'm not good at that things. I've written Wattpad fan fictions better than this. The acting in this film is so bad, it's kind of funny. It's like Robert Pattinson knows he's been cast into an awful movie, again, LOL, so purposefully takes the piss. During the restaurant scene, I beg you watch how he holds his fork. Tell me that's the table etiquette of a man.
You finish, but I need you to know I know.
Okay. Tell me that's the table etiquette of a man taking himself seriously. Ha 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 ha. And don't get me started on the ending. So
It's Twilight. Twilight.
No, it's not Twilight.
It's Twilight.
Ding, 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 ding. The Batman?
Yes, Caleb. No, it's not Batman.
Is it New Moon?
No, it's none of the Twilight.
Is it
Oh,
Eclipse?
ding, ding, ding. Lighthouse.
No.
Oh,
Is it Breaking Dawn Part 1?
No.
Is it Breaking Dawn Part 2?
Can you keep
Here,
naming
I'll take
Robert
the one.
Pattinson
I'll take the
movies?
one word I took out of the very ending. Don't get me started on the 9/11 ending. Do you not know this movie?
Is this Tenet? I haven't seen it.
Wow. Y'all don't. This is the movie Remember Me. It was a 2010 movie that is just a romantic comedy with Robert or maybe more of a romantic drama with Robert Pattinson. And then at the very end, he dies in 9/11. I'm very
I've
surprised
never
y'all have
heard of
never heard
this.
of that.
I've
That
never
is
heard of this
hilarious.
I'm looking
Wow.
at this movie right now.
Wow. I could have sworn. I'm very surprised y'all have never heard of that. It was a big deal because like it was very controversial for it being a 9/11 movie without telling you.
I just love the concept of ending any romantic movie with a global tragedy of like, oh man, we did a 9/11 on Robert Pattinson.
The shot is he's standing and looking out of a window and it zooms out of the window and he's in the two towers.
And the movie's just like, hey, he's gonna die.
And I think it like cuts to them other people seeing on the TV or something. Or like they say earlier, it's 9/11. It's September 11th, 2001.
So here's, I mean, isn't that just Rogue One though? I haven't seen Rogue One, but I feel like that's just Rogue One.
Caleb,
I know he's not in Rogue One, but General Grievous dying in the 9/11
I feel like
is the funniest thing to me.
I feel like Rogue One is just 9/11. It's like
Caleb,
a 9/11 movie, but it's
first of
Uh-huh.
all,
yeah.
kind of impressed you haven't watched Rogue One.
I watched like the first 5 minutes and then fell asleep, and that's just a bad sign for the movie, honestly.
Yeah, it starts slow. I will say, if we're talking Star Wars, I think Rogue One is the best Star Wars film.
Maybe I need to take another crack at it.
Pretty good.
It gets really good later. The beginning is slow. It's definitely not a 9/11 movie.
I mean, I know what. Here's the problem: is I know what's gonna happen at the end of Rogue One because I know what Star Wars is. Like I know how Star Wars started.
But trust me, it is worth the journey.
It's good.
It's gonna end with 9/11. Like that's the thing.
Yeah, it was weird when they got onto that
9/11.
Yeah, they got onto that planet and there was one tower and they were like, nah, we need another. And a second one grew out of the ground. And then they were like, send all the TIE fighters. And yeah.
You joke? This could be the end of the movie for me.
I
don't
just
know.
told you the end of the movie, Caleb.
You know what movie could have done a 9/11 twist and didn't?
I love this joke. This is what we're doing this episode. We're putting 9/11 in movies.
I actually have
Final
a 9/11
Destination
story. Oh God.
Here's
There
the thing.
could have
By
done-
It
2030,
could have worked.
It could
by
have
2030, we'll have a 9/11 Final Destination. I'm calling that shot now. We got another 7 years. It will have been enough time for a 9/11 Final Destination to happen.
In another version of the script, the original, because you know how the big thing is they survive the plane crash
Mm-hmm.
that's supposed to kill them. It's just that plane was actually 9/11 in the original script.
Really?
No, I'm lying, but that would be incredible.
Dang it.
You want to hear a 9/11 story that's true story about Caleb Burley that has to do with 9/11?
Did
Yes.
you do 9/11?
No, I didn't do 9/11. Okay,
No, don't you remember we did 9/11?
We did
We
9/11.
did admit to that about a month back.
About a month ago. No, in high school, there was one of my classes. I had to direct a show that was like a student directed show, right?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I did not get to pick what to do. I was just assigned a show to do. And the show that was assigned to me was so fucking bad. It was one of the worst things I've ever read in my life. And it was these 3 scenes that were like comedic about, oh, these people are running late to work. Ha ha ha. Watch them struggle to get out of the house. Oh, it's so funny. Look, one of them is fighting with their partner. And then the end of the show was all 3 of them standing on the street and watching 9/11 happen, and all of them work at the World Trade Center.
Incredible.
I was
What?
handed this show, and she was like, yeah, my teacher was like, yeah, the first 3 scenes are so funny, and then the 4th scene, it really just punches you in the gut. Can you direct this? And I was like, fuck is this? Fuck is this bullshit? So then I direct the show.
Yeah.
And I have to put it on in front of all these parents that are paying to see this student directed show. It was like 3 one-acts in one night. And the person playing the female lead of the show gets a stomach virus.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Guess what? It's a high school show. You think we know what a fucking understudy is? Hell no. I put on a dress. I put on a wig. I got made up and I played a woman in that show. And it was fucking terrifying for me to be like, my name's already associated with this show because on the program it says directed by Caleb Burley. Now it's going to have a...
Yeah.
Such a fucking dog shit show. I still can't get over the fact that they were like, yeah, Caleb can handle a 9/11 story. Here you go.
Yeah, when I look at Caleb Burley, I think that's a person with the emotional range to talk seriously about 9/11.
Yeah, hold on, wait, let me take off my glasses so you can see if that makes a difference, okay?
Who is this thug?
Whoa.
I'm scared.
Hold on, let me put them back on.
Okay, thank God.
You are so astute and wise, and I want to hear you talk about Pearl Harbor next.
Don't worry, I have lots of opinions, especially on the end of World War II. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But what other movies could do with 9/11?
Okay, here's genuinely a movie that I think would do better with 9/11. Because I'm really tired of all these movies where it's just happy all the time. We do need some sadness.
We need some
I
depression.
think the first Madagascar movie would end better with 9/11. I think we need to introduce children to tragedy earlier in life.
King
Yeah,
Julian, they hit the second tower.
I think instead, a course Madagascar could take. It's the night of their escape. and they're like, hey, It's September 10th, 2001, and we gotta break out of here and see the world. And then that's all it references to 9/11. But they escaped New York before the towers came down.
Or instead of getting to Madagascar, we change the whole plot, and instead of getting on a ship, they go to the airport. And they're the reasons. They're the hijackers.
They caused 9/11, yeah.
We all knew Alex the Lion. It's that giraffe voiced by fucking Ross from Friends.
Yeah.
That just
David Schwimmer Melman killed so many people.
Melman is a murderer. Let's be real about it.
Why do you think he's so anxious?
Yeah.
Hey, he tried to save the day, but he just kept pressing too many buttons with his hooves.
Yeah, and his head kept appearing in at different angles from off screen as he was staring at the towers coming up to him.
Oh my God.
I spent this whole time thinking that King Julian was voiced by Hank Azaria. It's Sacha Baron Cohen. And that's fucking wild.
And you know who Mort is, right?
Yeah, that said. Mort. No. Ooh.
The voice I was doing.
Yeah, I know who he is. Like in the movie. I'm trying to remember.
I remember his last name because I couldn't remember. Andy Richter.
I love Andy Richter.
That's Andy Richter.
I love Andy Richter. What a guy.
King Julian.
Wow. I mean, Jada Pinkett Smith being Gloria the Hippo, though, that also surprises me.
I've got a pitch for another movie.
Okay. Is it another Madagascar or another 9/11 movie?
Minions. Oh, of course. It's 9/11. Minions helped with 9/11 for sure.
Of course, they're evil.
They need to answer for that. But it's Die Hard in the Twin Towers. And the entire movie plays out like normal, but instead of a Christmas party, it's a very normal, average, all-nighter September 10th party that they did all the time. And so at the end of it, because he's visiting his wife for September 10th, and then at the end, after he's beaten he's beating all the terrorists, and then he drops Hans Gruber off the roof. And everyone starts coming in for work, and his wife and him are like really, really happy. And then the first plane hits. And then the sequel picks up right then and there, where they got to escape the tower.
And then midway through the second movie is when the second tower gets hit.
Yeah, because they were in the tower that didn't get hit, so they had a little more time. But the panic and the chaos and the second group of terrorists that were like coming because we got the Russians, and then we have the terrorists flying the plane, but there's another group of terrorists, and this group, they're the CIA, and they're there to ensure 9/11 happens big time.
Bush did 9/11. They set the bombs underneath the towers,
and then the final fight is it's John McClane fighting George W. Bush.
And he keeps on saying, "You did 9/11. You did 9/11."
But then after he like breaks George W. Bush's neck, there's a little like lip by there's a little like flap of skin, and he pulls it, and he was a robot. It was a robot George W. Bush the whole time.
A lizard robot.
Yeah. And so the real George W. Bush is still alive, but we've discovered that there's an army of George W. Bush robots that are ready and willing to march at any given moment when the CIA tells them to. And so Die Hard 3 then becomes John McClane fighting 1,000 robot George W. Bushes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I wanted to just run this by you guys. I was looking at Sacha Baron Cohen's filmography.
Of course.
And every time he voices King Julian in a Madagascar movie, the year after is a total tonal shift in what movie he does.
Oh,
Madagascar.
I'm looking at this now, yeah.
2005. The next year, 2006, Borat comes out.
Yeah, baby.
Madagascar Escape to Africa. The next year, Bruno, which opens. Have you guys seen Bruno?
Mm-mm.
A long time ago.
When I was like 16, and I was just like, oh, ha, ha, ha. I've seen Borat. Let me watch this. The opening of the movie is Bruno and his boyfriend is riding an exercise bicycle, which is pumping a dildo in and out of Bruno's butthole.
Yeah.
So very different from Escape to Africa.
Yeah, very different.
Then Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. I know what you're thinking. What's next in this lineup? It's Les Mis.
Another movie that would go very well with 9/11 in it.
Yeah.
They're just like, they pick up a newspaper and they're like,
Yeah.
whoa, way in the future in a place I've never been, there's going to be a tragedy happening.
Well, no, what they do is they go to walk into the sewer and they find a force field, and it turns out they're in a simulation.
In
and
the
outside,
two towers.
They're in the simulation, and they wake up and they unplug Matrix style, and they're in the two towers.
Funnily enough, The Matrix, another movie that would end better if it ended on 9/11. Because like at the end of the first Matrix, Neo takes flight for the first time as he realizes he's the chosen one and flies directly into that second tower.
Okay, you remember the movie Chronicle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
The fantastic found footage like superhero movie that should have gotten more.
Yeah.
So that movie, here's the pitch, takes place in 2001 now. And during their big fight, one of them grabs an airliner out of the sky and throws it at the other one, and he misses, and it flies behind him and hits the two towers. And then later on in the fight, the other one does the same thing, and it actually hits him and flies the bad guy into the Twin Towers.
Okay.
And then he goes off to Nepal or whatever again.
Yeah.
But this time as a war criminal, yeah. He's like, hey, I'm really sorry for doing 9/11. I'm going to leave my video camera on the top of a mountain. And then he flies away.
Hold on, I'm getting something ready because I think this is good. I think we can keep this bit up for a little bit, but what I want us to do is I've pulled up a list of the top 100 movies of all time.
Okay.
According to Empire Online. And I'm gonna start at number 1. And I just want us to do the top 10, and I just want each of you real quick, yes or no, will this movie be improved by including 9/11?
Can this movie be 9/11?
Can this movie be 9/11? So first of all, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
There's already two towers in it. Of course it can be 9/11.
We gotta wait for the two towers, I think, before we can 9/11 it though.
I think we can set it up.
Okay. So yes, and.
Okay.
So the first one's the Fellowship of 9/11.
Yeah. Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back.
No.
I'm still saying.
I will say,
Empire Strikes on 9/11.
According to Empire Online, this movie is the original This One's Darker sequel. So I think it could be darker if we include 9/11.
9/11's pretty dark. Okay, I'll say yes then.
The Godfather.
Ooh, when is that set? Because we just set
September
it in the future
10th,
a little bit
2001.
more. We see how the Godfather reacted to 9/11. You know.
Beautiful. See, that's the thing.
What have they done to my country?
Wait.
Look what they've done to my country.
With the Godfather, because, we got that scene where he's like, you're going to sleep with the fishes. No, you just put him in the 100th floor of the World Trade Center. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Dark Knight, it basically has 9/11.
Yeah, it's basically 9/11.
2 ships, 2 towers. What's the difference?
Yeah. So yeah, whenever they had one group in one tower and the other group in the other, and they had to decide which group lived and died,
Oh no.
And they both pushed the button and both groups died, which is why planes hit both.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
in real life,
They were
people are not
magnetized.
that good.
Shawshank Redemption, of course.
No.
I actually
yes.
think that movie. Yes.
So, no, if I'm being real, yes, in that I think it'd be hilarious for Red to get out of prison, hop on a plane.
Oh my god. I'm going back home to New York.
And then he gets 9/11.
I'm skipping
Get
ahead a little
9/11
bit.
Red.
I'm skipping ahead a little bit in the list because I found a movie that I think we can actually spend a few minutes talking about how 9/11 would improve not only this movie, but this franchise. Because we're talking about Back to the Future. Marty McFly could stop 9/11
He
Or
really
cause
could.
or cause it.
Let's
Yeah.
be real. He'd go back. He'd be on one of the flights, and then his mom would be there, and he's like, "Okay, I got to bone down with my mom again." And
down.
then he'd cause 9/11.
Well, yeah, there's the one movie where he goes back twice. So it starts off, he goes back and he does something, whatever. He steps on a butterfly. And then, he goes back in the future. 9/11 happened. And Butch is his dad.
Oh,
And then he goes back in
Biff.
time. Biff, thank you. Biff Butch. Butch Biff.
Biff Tannen, I mean, he
Biff
has a
Tannen.
name. He's a whole person. Biff Tannen got done really dirty by those movies, I will say.
True.
Biff Tannen was also fully based off Donald Trump, according to both the writers of the movie.
Oh.
So
Incredible and beautiful.
Well, he goes back in time. He unsteps on the butterfly. 9/11 didn't happen.
here's here's my thing is they could make a remake of Back to the Future, but I feel like every time they do, they come up to the 9/11 question of like, well, why wouldn't they just go back and stop 9/11? So we're not gonna do the best segment I've ever created, which is Caleb almost used a college degree. But I want just real quick if we could just role play a little bit. Sammy, would you mind being Marty, like the new Marty McFly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Marty
I don't know.
McFarty.
Maybe they Marty
Farty
McFarty.
McFly. It's right
um,
there. It's right there.
Fuck. That's so
No,
good.
Martha. And I'm
Ah.
also Batman's
Ooh.
mom.
We went
Oh
woke.
my god.
We went woke.
Okay, we did it. I'm Batman and I'm Superman's mom.
Yeah, Batman and
Then-
Superman are twin brothers, actually.
So
In this
then
universe,
I'll be
yes.
I'll be Doc Brown.
I'll be the
Um,
DeLorean.
But no. See, Cordell, here's the thing. Is you're gonna play Doc Brown from like in the future of this thing,
Oh.
and you're gonna come back to say why we can't stop 9/11 from happening. Because you're from the future where we did stop it, okay?
Okay.
So you wait, you'll know
I'll
the
hop in.
time to
I'll
hop
hop
in.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll know
okay.
the time. Okay. So here, Sammy, whenever you're ready, you can start.
Hey, Doc. 9/11.
I'm fixing the DeLorean, Marty. Martha.
Sick. Do you need any help, Doc?
Yes, I'm trying to fix the flux capacitor so we can go back and stop 9/11.
Yo, that sounds great.
We hate terrorism.
We fucking hate terrorism.
We're gonna stop 9/11.
It's gonna be over. We're gonna stop it. What was that, Doc?
Oh, another
Whoa.
DeLorean.
Doc, there's two of you.
Doc, it's me, Doc, from the
Oh, my.
future where you stopped 9/11.
Do we make out now?
Yeah.
Wait, I gotta tell you why you can't stop 9/11, and then we'll make out.
Whoa.
Oh, good.
Can I watch?
Yeah. Wait, how old are you?
That works.
Old enough. In the future, when you stop 9/11, the terrorists, they start reverse 9/11ing all of our planes. They shoot buildings at them in the sky.
Oh no.
Every single airliner gets reverse 9/11 when you stop 9/11. So you can't stop, or the carnage will be immense.
Oh my gosh, you saved us, and you stopped us from stopping 9/11, which would have caused reverse 9/11s.
Thanks,
Let's kiss.
Doc.
Use a lot of tongue.
Oh, this isn't as hot as I thought it would be.
Oh no! Take your dentures out.
Oh, I'm leaving. I gotta go give birth to Superman and Batman.
Thank you for getting that in.
You brought it back.
Was so
That's important.
I had to.
That's really important for us. Well, I could not have predicted that this was the episode where Doc Brown makes out with himself.
Yeah.
I couldn't have I predicted a lot of things for this episode. I was thinking we'd talk a good bit about 9/11.
Of course, yeah. We've done it before. We'll do it again.
I in no way could have predicted a Back to the Future bit at all, and could not have predicted two Doc Browns making out.
Just know that when we admitted to doing 9/11 around a month back, that was because we knew if we didn't, there would be a bunch of reverse 9/11s.
Yeah.
And so you're welcome, America.
Just imagining. I'm sorry. Now I'm just imagining what a reverse 9/11 would look like. And I imagine it goes something a little bit like that scene in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where they just launch the wood rabbit across instead of riding it in.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Like,
but it's a
reverse
tower.
9/11. It's a plane and a giant tower flies off the ground, hits the plane, and they crumble and explode. And they do that for every single flight.
Every flight. How many flights are there a day?
A lot.
How many flights happen per day? Oh my God, approximately 100,000 flights a day.
We stop 100,000 reverse 9/11s a day because of what we did.
Yeah.
Although you'd think eventually they'd just stop trying to fly planes after the first day of reverse 9/11s.
No.
That's the sequel to the anime we made last time. In a world where reverse 9/11s happen every time a plane leaves the ground.
I'm trying to remember which episode was the one where we did
9/11.
Where we did 9/11. Because I want to know which one it is so I can determine how many reverse 9/11s we've stopped.
Let's see. Was it Hungry Beef Time?
It may have been Hungry Beef Time.
Oh.
Which, real quick, I think after this, maybe we should go in and determine if some of our titles are still good or not. So that episode came out August 4th, which means we probably recorded it August 1st. So we're going to just say 31 days plus 11 days. We have stopped. Are you guys ready for this?
I'm ready.
420,000 reverse 9/11s.
Oh.
The perfect number.
We did it.
Wait, did I do that math right? 42 times 100,000. Is that right? Times 100.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. 4,200,000. Oh my gosh. We have stopped 4,200,000 reverse 9/11.
And I mean, okay, let's keep going with this. How many people can fit on a regular sized commercial airline? Well, how many people fly per day? 6 million people.
times 6000000, we have saved 250. How many zeros is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 252 followed by 11 zeros worth of people.
We're heroes.
We're heroes.
You know that show, OKKO, Let's Be Heroes? That's us.
Mm-hmm. We are heroes. We are heroes. Cordell, you look like you're looking at something.
I'm just rereading all of our different episode names and trying for the life of me to remember
what they're
we've
about.
Talked about, yeah.
Do we want to real quick?
Which is the fun?
Yeah, let's go
because
through,
what is For Tom? I don't remember that at all.
That was one that I recorded for my friend that died.
Oh, okay. Dang. Wow. Crap.
It's kind of a non-canonical episode, let's be honest. It's not really in the Junkhouse canon. It's kind of me being sad for a few minutes.
Wow. I'm sorry.
Anyway, let's start at the beginning. Lines of Succession, Cordell's journey. Can we remember what the fuck we talked about?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. My concept was how many people would have to die before I became the president of the United States.
Oh shit, we did bring up specific concepts in the beginning.
Yeah, we
that makes it easier.
We didn't get out of the specific context, topics. There we go. We didn't get out of topics for a while.
Yeah, I think if I'm remembering mine for that one, it was that the one where I talked about how I feel like I'm becoming more of a dad every day without a child.
I think so.
Dadless.
You did that at some point.
Yeah. It was a Welcome to Junk House, your one-stop shop for trash, memes, friendship, and maybe even kissing. For our inaugural episode, we talk about r/place, Caleb becoming a dad with no children, and how many deaths it would take for Cordell to become the POTUS. Oh, and Sammy teaches the boys a gamer word. Do you remember what that gamer word is?
No.
Is it r/place?
No.
Dang.
Is it pog?
No.
Is it a slur? Because I don't want to say those.
No. It's one that we have saved.
Cussy.
Oh, it's Cussy.
That came
That
from
was the first
1.
episode?
That's episode 1.
That's been haunting me for 65 weeks now.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Over
Episode
a
2
year.
was obviously THCU later, where I got way too high.
Me too.
Great. The Kirby shower bidet. Let's just real quick I can read them out, or Sammy, if you want to read them out, or Cordell, whatever. But just the other two, thumbs up, thumbs down on how we feel about these titles now.
I like them so far.
Kirby shower bidet.
Yeah.
Joey Chestnut and the Hot Dog Factory.
Flawless.
Incredible.
Beautiful. Time travel and the gay agenda.
It's fine.
It's
all right.
It's still pretty good.
I don't hate it.
Crystal Mommy Whistleblowers.
Probably our best time.
I
honestly,
it makes me feel something that I can't quantify.
That's fair. We Three Stevens. I like that
Genius.
one.
Genius. I love that one.
The Dead Parrots POV.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Tootsie Rolls and Booty Holes.
Excellent.
Conspiracy Carl's Probe Party.
That was when a legend was born.
That
that
was
the
first?
That was the first.
Okay.
That was the first Carl.
Jeez. Anyway, To All the Boys I've Loved Before. 10 out of 10 title. 10 out of 10. I love that one.
Caleb, are we going to do this approximately 52 more times?
Nah, right now I'm just kind of scrolling through to find some favorites, honestly. The Magic Free Feet picks I fucking love. That's so funny.
I also like Queen Elizabeth versus E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
immediately followed by the one after she fell.
Yeah. Sick women and Pokemon glitches for episode 28.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love New Year, New Meat for the Meat God.
I was really proud of that one. Yeah. Presidential candidacy, the Aki way.
10 out of 10. Junkhouse episode 8, The Carl Awakens. I think, was that the first return of Carl? I feel like he came in.
No, he had been in
popped in
before.
here.
That was like, yeah.
I think it was. I'm trying to capture the moment before we get too deep into this, where we stopped doing each of us bring a topic, and I think it was around Christmas time.
I think it was. I think maybe
because we episode 27 we each brought in an SCP to talk about.
Yeah,
sick women and Pokemon glitches might be.
Yeah,
might be the first
I think
one.
that was when we stopped bringing like 3 topics, and I think that's where we really like found our rhythm.
Yeah, I agree.
Sweet.
I just want to shout out 2 titles that are not very far apart. Episode 38, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really vibing with the long title this time around.
Yeah.
And episode 42, the one that sucked until Vin Diesel.
And then the one right after that, which was Baja Blast My Butthole. And I think that was the one that Olivia was like, y'all say butthole in your titles a lot.
Oh, no.
Which one
I
was that
remember
one?
that. But you guys say buttholes a lot was Tootsie Rolls and Booty Holes.
Yeah.
It was episode 9.
Oh, okay.
I remember that, yeah. My wife was like, you guys talk about buttholes a lot.
I don't know what else there is to talk about in this world.
9/11, I guess.
Yeah.
9/11
Episode
and
44
buttholes.
is one of my favorite titles and episodes. Sport needs sport clothes.
Sport needs sport clothes.
When we started fixing corporate slogans for them because we're heroes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
do also like How to Be Straight featuring Hudson Butterfield.
That's great. I think one that made Olivia question what happened in the episode was Judeo-Christian twink death.
Yeah. Two wolves, one Gandalf.
Yeah. Dan's ghost job. That was when I'm pretty sure that was when I promised to no longer talk about a certain scene in a certain film after that episode.
You wanted one where you could just free reign talk about it as much as you want, and then we were done.
Yeah, so we're going on
but
we're coming up on about 14 weeks sober of me talking about that scene.
But speaking of films that would do better with 9/11 at the end.
Ghostbusters
would be better with 9/11 at the end.
Like it happened in New York.
And because here's the thing: instead of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man,
it's 9/11.
They're like he's like, I'm trying to think of something not scary. Planes aren't scary. And then they fly across the sky and hit the Twin Towers. And then they have the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
I want to add another wrinkle into Ghostbusters because, and this is not just to bring up the ghost job, but
he's getting a ghost job.
Imagine.
I'm getting triggered here.
No, because this'll I think change the scene. What if when you're having sexual relations with a ghost, it may cause you to see something. Therefore, Dan Aykroyd in that moment saw 9/11.
And
that's what made him think of planes later. It's because he was thinking about that good old sloppy toppy from a ghost.
Oh, and then he sees a horrific event that will come to pass and is trying to stop it. But then he learns that that's not how time works. So he just...
Yeah.
Wow.
I love it.
What I'm saying is Dan Aykroyd could have stopped 9/11.
Yeah.
I mean, we all knew that.
He could have
always
stopped
had the
us.
power. Yeah, he could have stopped us. Dan, why didn't you stop us?
What did we
I
talk
feel like
about
if
and
we-
don't ask about the bull?
I have no fucking clue. I was trying to remember.
Dream Cordell likes toothpaste, the B movie, but cows? Yeah, that second one is our idea, so better not take it. We also talk about micro and even a little.
I think it was like the B movie, but cows made me remember us talking about the cows, and they're like, we want to get paid for our milk.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was the dirty jobs. I don't remember. I don't know.
Do you ever, you are both weird people who say weird things routinely. Do you ever experience that moment where one of your friends or an acquaintance more often is like, hey, do you remember that one really weird thing you said a couple years back? And you're like, genuinely, no, I don't. And they tell you, and you're like, that sounds like me, but I have no recollection. But to them, it was a very pivotal moment of weirdness. This is what it's like to look back through these episodes. It's like, I don't recall any of this freaked up stuff we did, but like, I believe you.
I remember what the bull is about. If you want me to tell you.
Yeah.
It has to do with dirty jobs.
Oh.
Don't ask about the bull. Don't ask about the bull.
Don't ask about the bull.
Got it.
Here's the thing, is that as weird shit as I say, my wife consistently says weirder shit than I do.
There you go.
So I always wonder why she's not on here, but
she could be a guest.
The other thing is that as soon as I hit the stop button on Audacity, I have forgotten everything I've said in the past like hour or so. Just no memory. So
my
that
brain
way,
erases.
it gets to Friday, I look and I'm like, oh, Junk House is up. Let me listen. And then I'm like sitting there like mowing the lawn. I got my headphones on, listening to the Junk House while I mow the lawn. And then I have these moments where I just stop and kind of hold the lawnmower in place while I think, man, we really did have a bit where Cordell and I both played Doc Brown. And we pretended to make out while Sammy pretended to be Martha McFly watching.
And after I stopped you from causing a bunch of reverse 9/11s.
Yeah. And we both did, let's be honest, those were both some of the worst Doc Brown impressions that have ever graced the podcast.
Really, my Doc Brown was closer to like Rick Sanchez than anything else.
Yeah.
I don't know what my Doc Brown was. I don't remember.
Morty.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. One of our best titles ever may be Elvis Presley's Crank Palace.
Yeah.
I don't know that we can top that one, but we're going to try.
We're going to try with this episode.
The only way to top that is to actually do the live show in the Crank Palace, like we were talking about that episode. So
then that'll be Crank Palace 2 Electric Boogaloo.
What if so it's been a minute since I've actually brought up this segment. So I wanna bring this up again. If I can find the doc that it's in a different but it's been a while since we've written down some debate questions for our candidates.
Easy one. How do you feel about 9/11?
Yeah, that is exactly what I was thinking.
Insta-lock. Yeah, this one has been a 9/11 heavy episode. So if you
are
triggered by the tragedy, sorry.
Yeah, we should put a little thing in the beginning.
I'm gonna put I'll put a content warning.
Be like, hey, on a very real level, we do understand that this is a severely tragic thing that happened. On another real level, we were all maybe 3 when it did. So it's joke time.
So we're going to joke about it. If you don't like that, sorry, don't listen to this episode.
If you have lost a loved one on 9/11, genuinely sorry. You don't want to listen to this. It's joke time.
Yeah. I'm honestly just going to take what you just said and put that at the front.
Yeah, just put those moments in the front and let's go to town. But then leave this part in so it feels like that moment when a horror movie starts and then it's like something later in the movie and then you go back and then when that comes around but you have new context for it, it's really cool and awesome. It'll be like that but for podcast.
For podcasting.
Yeah.
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 It's like when you walk into your house and realize everything was stolen and replaced with an exact identical copy.
That's happened to me 3 times.
It sucks, right?
Like, I know it's the same stuff, but it's not my same stuff.
It's just so frustrating.
Yeah, it's like you don't know what I was going to do with that stuff, and now I can't do it with that stuff.
You don't know what I have done with that stuff.
Oh, you don't want to know what I have done with that stuff.
I've written down 2 questions for the candidates during that bit.
Okay.
One of them being, how do you feel about 9/11, knowing that if 9/11 didn't happen, there would be a wild amount of reverse 9/11s?
Okay.
That's a valuable question.
And then who was really responsible for 9/11?
Ooh. Because that's not a matter of opinion. That's a matter of fact.
It's a matter of fact. We all know it. Let's all say it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Us.
Bush. Oh, fuck.
We've admitted to this on this show.
It. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot for a minute. It is us. We did 9/11. Anyway, what are some other questions? Oh, sorry. Maybe what are some movies that are basically 9/11 or would be better with 9/11?
Yeah, would be better if it was based around the tragedy.
Just thought of one that would be better with 9/11, and if neither of them give this answer, I'll be upset. It's Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump would be better with 9/11.
It really should have had 9/11 in there. He's just like on his run through New York.
You know, and we've never seen a Superman deal with New York. What?
Not at all.
We never seen a Spider-Man deal with 9/11
in film.
In film.
In film.
I feel like Judge Dredd could do 9/11.
Ooh. Judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah, like Judge Dredd. But here's the thing: some people don't understand that Judge Dredd is like about how they're the bad guys.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it'd really drive it home if Judge Dredd did 9/11.
Or
if RoboCop did a 9/11.
Ooh.
Remember when RoboCop shot that guy's dick off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to bring it up every time someone mentions RoboCop.
That is your ghost job.
That is my ghost job. I have to imagine how RoboCop shot that guy's dick off. That man no longer has a penis or balls because RoboCop decided to get a little loose with a gun. That's why we need gun control.
He was gonna
save our penises.
Though.
Okay, a new question for the debate is: how do you feel about the time RoboCop shot that guy's dick off, and now he doesn't have a penis and balls anymore?
Oh, Jesus.
Did you write that exact wording?
Shot that guy's dick off, and how he doesn't have a penis or... Whoa, Google does not autocorrect penis. Okay.
Google knows that that's the appropriate term.
Yeah.
More. I am preparing a quiz right now for our episode coming up in 4 episodes, which is episode 69. And I wanted to let you guys know, which is I'm going to give you guys dirty words that have actual non-dirty definitions, and I need you guys to guess the non-dirty definitions and refrain from saying the dirty word.
That's really good.
I like that.
I want you two to realize, one, we got 2 more episodes until Oktoberfest 2023 kicks off. That's right. I will be my most powerful in 2 weeks. Second of all, our 69th episode will be during Oktoberfest.
Yes, I had thought about that. Because I had originally thought about making a quiz, because it would be an Oktoberfest, of can you name the 2 parts of the couple that died in a horror movie while having sex?
Wait. That's great. That's great. Our 69th episode, if I counted correctly, is coming out on Friday the 13th.
No shot!
I'm going to recount real quick.
Because this is episode 65 right now.
67, 68, 69 is Friday the 13th, October 2023.
That'll be the best episode ever. We
gotta do something crazy.
It's gonna be the most powerful episode.
It is going to be our 69th episode during Oktoberfest, coming out on Friday the 13th.
This is
listeners, friends. Okay, listeners, friends, everybody, please. Countrymen. But you have just over a month to do this. Email us a WAV file celebrating our 69th episode that we can play at the end. And I mean, if you go as little as you want or as crazy as you want with this, like if you want to do full production and like do sound clips, fucking do it. If you want to record an hour-long podcast of you celebrating our 69th episode that we put at the end of our hour-long podcast, we'll fucking do it.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's me powering up. I'm so excited.
This is sick. This is going to be great.
I need you to know for the next 3 episodes, I'm going to be a little bit under energy because I'm going to be storing up a month's worth, basically.
It's like when you edge a lot.
We're edging for
the big one.
You know, we almost didn't talk about cum this episode, so I'm glad you brought edging up.
Well, if we talk about edging, we're not talking about cum.
Oh, but I wish we could.
Oh my God. You know what else brings me a sweet, sweet relief? It's Psychobilly Freak Out by the Reverend
incredible.
Which is why I get to listen to the show every Friday, because it's our opening and closing theme song. But it's not the whole thing. So I get a little bit of an edge off our show.
Just the first. And if you listen all the way through, you get a little bit of after the first part.
Yeah, it's but that was obviously by Psychobilly Freak Out by the Reverend Horton Heat off the album Smoke 'Em. If you got 'em, go listen to it.
You should listen to it while you are sending us and following us Twitters on Twitters. That's Junkhouse Pod, the same as our TikTok. If you could also rate and review us on iTunes. Also, if you wanted to, for the 69th episode, why don't you send us some TikToks? Send us a little TikToks you made for us. We can do TikToks. We'll do a little email, audio. It'll be fun.
I think
yes
that you should send us audio files of you celebrating our 69th episode. You should also just send us the weirdest, wildest emails you can think of. It will be Friday the 13th and Oktoberfest and our 69th episode. Really, anything spooky or sexual, just send it in our email.
We still got ghosts too, and if you send an email in on that super day, you get mega ghost. So
we're gonna do a ghost bundle for that day, I think, and we will send you 2 ghosts arranged facing each other, but with one's their torsos reversed in direction, so that one's feet is past another one's head. The other's feet are past the other one's head. They're going to be in the 69 shape. We're going to send you 69 ghosts.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. When you first said we're sending you 2 ghosts, I thought we're going to put a toy plane in one's pocket. And then later, another one will appear in the other one's pocket.
Yeah, we're going to send you a ghost 9/11. But you should email us at junkhousememailbox@gmail.com to do all those
I-
things.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of great podcasts, and there's one thing they do, and that's something that they say every week.
Mm-hmm.
The lines in the parking lot are the two towers that you gotta guide your car plane through.
Sometimes when you're considering the ramifications of an act of terror and whether you should prevent it in the future, you got to consider a reverse act of terror.
Look what they did to my New York City. They massacred my New York City.
It's a psychobilly freakout!